Yes, hi everyone. This is Lisa Suwecki. I'm the interim assistant dean over at the Multicultural Affairs Office at Cal State University Dominguez Hills. Thank you so much for being here. We're really excited about venturing into this technology and talking about some very timely and important subjects today. So thank you, Tom, and thank you, Rami, for being here. We really appreciate your support on this. And thank you to all the guests.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Lisa. It's our pleasure. Rami, would you like to share a little bit about yourself and, your interest in facilitating these kind of workshops?
Sure. I consider myself that's a facilitator. It's actually what I get paid to do. I mostly facilitate workshops with youth around, civic action and making change in their communities, sort of like leadership-based programs. But I'm also a writer, and so, and I'm a Muslim American. And so I have, over the last few years, sort of been writing a lot about, my experience being, a Muslim American in sort of the society we're living in. And so I'm excited to, I believe like writing is not just for, it's a practice and everybody needs to keep practicing, and I'm practicing every day. So being a part of these workshops is really beneficial for me as a writer, and I'm excited to help facilitate one.
That's awesome. Thanks, Rami. So this workshop's not just going to be listening. We're going to actually get you involved. It's something Rami and I are really good at. So we're going to give a chance to hear a little bit from you. So we'd like for you to just share your name, where you're from, and what your interest is or what brought you to this workshop. So let's see here. Let's start with Heather Davidson, Gratitude.
Oh, hello, I'm Heather, and I was invited by Lisa, and I live in San Pedro, and I'm just really curious about understanding different people's life experience and how I can best be a part of the solution and become more aware. So that's me.
That's excellent. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Is there somebody else next to you that I see, or is?
Oh, Heather's mom. I just happened to be here. I was invited by Heather, so I am just along to learn.
That's awesome. Do you want us to call you Heather's mom, or?
No, my name's Diane Rapier.
Diane.
Yeah.
Diane and Heather, it's a pleasure to have you all join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to say hi?
Oh, yes. Hi, this is Summer. Is that Rami? Rami who? What's your last name, Rami?
Yeah. Rami Elatrovi.
Oh, hi, Rami. I know Rami.
It's Mimi. Hi, Mimi.
Hi, me. Okay, I'm Summer Aziz. I'm a friend of Lisa. I am a Muslim activist. I'm involved with, refugees and anything really supporting the Muslim community and Muslim women. And I'm here on the call.
Thank you so much, Summer. We really appreciate you joining us.
That's me. Yes. Hi, how are you? This is Sahar. I was invited by Summer to join and see what we have to say about this. And I am from Irvine, activist, and been part of the community for so many years here. And I'm very happy to see what everybody has to say. And I also know Rami. So we know a few people on the line.
I know Summer and Sahar throughout my whole life since I was a child.
Wow.
Yeah. So hopefully that will. It's a very small world, and hope we'll all have something to say and add to the group.
I mean, that sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, hi. My name is Imran, and I was invited by Lisa. I am also a Muslim American. I have been living in the U.S. for almost 37 years, and have seen and experienced Muslim community in the U.S. grow and expand and be a part of the American community in a productive manner. I'm also seeing some negative comments and so on around Muslims, especially in the near past. So I'm here to listen. I'm also here to contribute and support Lisa and support the cause.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
My name is Angela, and I'm from Florida, and I would like to, I would like to hear some of others' experiences. I've had some rather bizarre experiences, and that's putting it mildly. And I don't know, I think, if I'm an American and I go through what I go through, I can only imagine what some of our brothers and sisters go through that's coming here from other countries. So my heart goes out to you for sure.
Well, thank you, Angela. We appreciate you joining with that intention, and we look forward to getting to hear you and everyone else share. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So as we're getting started, we just want to share some good community agreements or ground rules that help to create a safe space to take risk, being vulnerable and sharing yourself and creating some art together. So Rami was going to share with us in his experience, what were some agreements or some, ways that we can work together?
Tom and I were speaking about it, and, we feel because a lot of us don't know each other. I know a couple other people in this circle, because we're, for the most part, we don't know each other's experiences and we don't know each other's backgrounds. We want to make sure that whatever we're writing is respectful and doesn't make sort of judgments or assumptions about others and their experiences, because we really don't know who we are. So one of the agreements is we just want people to be mindful of the language they use when they're writing, as well as to also express yourself and be honest, but also how to do that in a sort of respectful kind of way.
That's awesome. Thank you, Rami. So let's see here. There's somebody who's trying to get their microphone to work. We'll work with them. So what we'd like to do is, a lot of times when people come to expression sessions, is we come with our bias that we're not artists. I don't know, is anybody on team Brene Brown? Anybody like Brene Brown out there? So Brene Brown, she researched about 13,000 people, or she did studies with them. And out of those 13,000 people, about 70% of them reported that they experienced shame sometime in a learning environment that changed the way they viewed themselves as learners for the rest of their life. Out of that 70%, 60% reported that it happened in a creative environment, which means that usually for most of us, sometime in our lives, we were told we're not artists. And we're here to let you know right up front that's a lie, and that we believe there's no wrong or right way to do art. So during this session with us, feel free, anything you create, we're going to celebrate like you're our third grade child and you just brought home some finger paintings, and we're going to put it right on our fridge, okay? So just know we got your back. Let's see here. I see one more person has joined us before we get started here. Adriana, would you like to say hey as you're getting situated?
Hey.
We're having people just share their name, where they're from, and what brings them to the workshop today.
My name is Adriana, and I'm from St. Petersburg. I don't even thoroughly understand what the workshop is about, so if you could just run that by me one more time.
No, that's a great question. Rami, would you like to share a little bit about why we're here?
We are holding sort of a writing workshop to explore the theme of Islamophobia in this modern day America, post, presidential election. And it's a forum for people to express all their concerns or whatever it is they're thinking about when it comes to Islam and Muslims, and to ask the questions that people want to ask, in a forum that should hopefully be safe and respectful and non-judgmental.
Right.
Cool. So a good way we'd like to get started is we like to create a team poem. And it might sound challenging at first, but I bet you that we can create a team poem fairly quickly. What we'd like you to do is for everybody to get out either your pen and your paper, that's what I got, or if you're going to type on a computer, whatever you're going to use to, create onto. If you could just get that out for us. Okay. And we would like for you to write down one sentence, any sentence, about what it means to you to express. Can be any sentence, anything you'd like. And it can be around the theme of today of, processing all that's going on in the political climate. But any sentence you'd like. Just one sentence. You don't have to judge yourself. It doesn't have to be poetic or even brilliant. It just has to be yours. Okay? Okay, we'll give you about another 10 seconds to come up with your sentence. Okay, excellent. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to unmute everybody's line, and we'll see. Hopefully there's not too much background noise on anybody's call. And what we're going to do is we're going to go person by person, and I'll just say your first name. And then after I say your first name, without any prompting or explanation or saying like, oh, my sentence isn't very good or anything like that, we just want you to say your sentence out loud. And as we go from person to person, we just want you to kind of hear the sentences as they start to connect with each other and form one overall group poem. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, sounds like no. Okay, so we'll go through. I'll say your name. I'll unmute your line, and feel free to share your sentence out loud. Okay, so we're going to start with Heather, and we're going to finish. Rami's going to be our grand finale. Okay. Okay, Heather, would you like to share your sentence?
Okay. From the heart of childlike wonder, I seek to give and to receive.
Diane, would you like to share yours?
Creative expression is the freedom to allow the flow of creative energy through me.
Summer?
Being able to express myself honestly on how I feel in this political climate as an American Muslim.
Sahar?
Enlightening others with my thoughts and values as a Muslim.
Lisa?
Expression is freedom and freeing.
Amran?
Muslims are peace-loving people. Muslims are peace-loving people, and we welcome everyone into our communities.
Adriana?
Freeing the contents of my mind and soul.
Angela?
To be able to express myself lets me know that the Muslim community is not defeated.
Tom? I am here to be myself and express. Rami?
Will I ever stop waking up hoping it was just a bad dream?
Did I miss anybody?
Did Lisa?
Yeah, Lisa shared. I think that's everybody. Let's snap it up. Yes. Snapping.
So cool.
And so someone just said that it was really cool, correct? It would be great if we could talk a little bit about what was cool about that. Like, who here has ever written a group poem before? No, but yes.
No.
I saw one hand from Adriana. But I think some of you are not using cameras. So if you have written a group poem before, feel free to just say, I have. But I guess nobody has. Except for Adriana. And, and for those who haven't, what was that experience like? Like, what was it like to hear your words alongside other people's words? Feel free to just, speak, and we can, and if people are speaking over each other, I'll try to moderate. Go ahead. Okay, well, here's another question. Did you expect the poem as you heard it? Like, what about the poem surprised you? If any part of it surprised you? Okay.
I think this is your opportunity.
Yeah, I didn't want to overtalk anybody. I just wanted to say there was a lot of things that was said that I have frequent thoughts about too.
So you're saying
So
you
it was
related?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Do you want to talk about any part specifically? Like, there a specific part that maybe stood out to you that you were like, yes, I think about that all the time?
Well, what you said, that you wonder when you're going to wake up and realize it's just a bad dream. I mean, that's like every day I wake up. I mean, I'm serious. It's just like, is this really happening? Kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Who else relates to that sort of feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Like, take turns.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I found, because I didn't at first kind of understand the exercise, I found myself a little self-conscious, and so I was sort of focused on that. So I didn't hear. I don't think my ears were available to hear all of it. But yeah, I definitely relate to feeling like it's all a bad dream and wishing that I could wake up from where our country's going right now.
Actually, what I was thinking is maybe something good will come out of it. And every day you keep thinking, okay, what happened today that brought people together, even though overall we don't think it's great, but what is good that's coming out of it? There must be something good. So you try very hard to look for something good that's coming out of it. Maybe unity of people getting together and finding the best in the other person, and then maybe finding the good people and making relationships. So maybe always look for the positive in a bad situation.
Thank you, Sahar. Thank you. That's just, it's actually, I think it's a challenge sometimes to look for the positive.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Rami, with me, is really just feeling that sometimes people don't really know what we're going through. However, it was very beautiful to hear what the other person said, is really feeling what the Muslim brothers and sisters going through. That was very, very comforting.
No, so are you saying, and forgive me, Samar, are you saying that this collective poem sort of made you realize that people out there do care and you weren't sure before?
Some people do care. I'm not going to say everybody. Some people do care, and sometimes it's the people that are not close to you. Like I have friends from not our community, but from the American community that I know that are really not well versed, and they say words that hurt me. However, it's good to hear other people that are feeling what we're going through or understanding what we're going through.
Right. It looks like Lisa wrote a comment. I don't know if Lisa, did you want to speak about what you wrote here, or I can read it out? I mean, what do you think?
I was just writing as everyone's talking, because I know that everybody may not necessarily have a mic. So I was writing in the group chat, and I basically said that I was really, I thought it was really interesting that there are a lot of diverse thoughts around the same prompt, and that my perspective was based on how I feel when I express, but I didn't even think about how I feel when somebody expresses something that I don't like, because that's a whole different perspective and view and feeling. Right. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say, like, I think that Lisa showed that for people who might have trouble speaking, feel free to chat, write some of your thoughts in the chat box too. And it's all part of the same conversation. So if you feel like you can't get your words in vocally, you have that forum there too. And anyone else, anybody maybe who hasn't shared anything yet, any responses to what that group poem experience was like?
Well, I think two of the things I heard, I can say I also thought about probably after the fact, but thinking about, waking up from a bad dream, as you said, I often wonder the same thing. I can't say I wonder about it from the Muslim point of view on a regular basis, but the direction we're going in, you have to, it's concerning. If you really do care about other people, it's gonna concern you, and it's gonna worry you, and you're gonna hope that it is just a nightmare. But at the same time that I wonder that, I also wonder, a lot of the great strides that we do make often come after, a bad time. Usually it's a rough time that inspires, the greatest of changes. But at the same time, you also have to wonder if a change is going to come out of it, because what if it doesn't? And then I was also thinking, when I gave my thoughts of what it means to express, I didn't think of, taking expression from anyone. I said giving my mind to others, and I find that I can be quite receptive of other people's expressions, but I'm not very receptive not as receptive as I should be when people don't want to give their expressions or their opinions on things.
Okay. I mean, so you feel like that there are times where you don't feel safe in expressing yourself freely based on who's around you.
I mean, I could say that too, but what I'm trying to say, I'm receptive to other people's expressions, and I'm okay expressing myself to others regardless of what kind of response is going to come back to my thoughts. But what I'm not very receptive of is when people choose not to express themselves to me. And I think that's because I'm so open with expressing myself that when other people don't want to express themselves or don't know how, I get a little touchy about it.
Okay. That's real, and I thank you for being honest about that. It's hard to negotiate everybody's, comfort levels sometimes, like.
Mhm.
Is it, can I ask a question of her? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
is that okay? Is it kind of like you're putting out the olive branch and being vulnerable, and if someone doesn't reciprocate, it feels like creates anxiety?
Not necessarily. It's more of a thing where I often misinterpret or assume that when people don't feel comfortable in expressing themselves to me, that I personally feel like sometimes they feel as if I'm going to attack them. And I know in my mind that I truly do want to understand the opinion and thoughts of everyone that comes in my path. So when they don't express themselves, I feel like, well, they must think that I'm going to attack them or shun them, even if they don't think that. But for some reason, I'm trying to get under control. I feel like people think I'm going to attack when really I just truly want the opinions of others, regardless of what I think. I value the opinion of other people. And so when they don't want to give that, it makes me feel like, well, am I off-putting? That type of thing.
I hear that. I think it's definitely difficult to negotiate just regular people have different comfort levels, and it may not be about you or why people don't want to share. It may be all about what they feel comfortable sharing. So, but I understand. And sometimes if you do stretch your hand out and it's not taken, it can feel like a slight. But, some people are not just ready to take a hand either. Okay, I think we're going to move on, right?
Excellent.
This is Imran. I apologize. I had to take another call for like 5 minutes. If my name was called, I was not able to answer because it was my boss. I had to take a call really quick.
Okay.
So I'm back on.
Imran, do you have any response to that group poem that we wrote?
I actually heard a lot of the people's responses, and they are very heartfelt. They're very true. They're very they're very genuine. And if we, people, I'm learning that people on the call, they really care about what's been going on and what people have expressed, and what issues have Muslims have had in the recent past. So that is something that I'm learning, that not everyone here has negative thoughts. There are so many more of us who are so supportive of our cause, and that makes me feel very good. I'm proud to be a Muslim. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be here.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Imran, and thank you for jumping back on the call after speaking with your boss. And can we just snap it up one more time for everybody for creating and for sharing? We know at first it can feel just a little awkward having a dialogue on a conference call, but like tying your shoes, eventually you get really good at it. So we appreciate you giving it a shot. We're glad you're here with us. And I'm going to mute everybody's line for just a second here. And what we want to do is continue this process of allowing ourselves a chance to express and to redefine what it means to be creative. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do what's called a box poem. And so what you're going to do is I'm going to give you 10 different prompts, okay? So you're going to get 20 seconds to answer each prompt, okay? So when I give you the first prompt or the first sentence starter, I would like for you to just write whatever comes to your mind without judging it, without thinking, oh, I'm not going to write that down. Just whatever comes to you, just allow it to come through you onto your pen, onto your piece of paper, or with your fingers onto your keyboard. So you'll get the prompt and you'll get 20 seconds to answer it, and then the time won't come back. So you'll want to just go for it really quick. And what this is we're developing the ability to free write And what free write means is that rather than trying to sit down and get your words to rhyme or get your words to sound correct or beautiful right away, is just using art as a tool for processing. And so what free writing does is it allows you to just sit down and just let your words come out without judging them. And then once they're out, reading them and seeing what does your subconscious have to say about this. So this is a great way to ease ourselves into it. So once again, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 10 different prompts, and you're going to get 20 seconds to answer each one. Okay, so I've unmuted your lines. Does anybody have any questions about what we're about to do?
I have a comment. I'm actually driving to Santa Barbara to see my son, so I'm not able to view the screen. So I'm just here listening to everybody else.
No worries. If you are driving to Santa Barbara to visit your son, what you can do is just think it. Like, what would your answer be in your mind? You can even, I'm going to mute everybody's line during it, so you can even say it out loud if you want. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So any other questions?
No.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody's line for this, just the exercise. Okay, so either in your mind, picture your answer or write down number 1. And let me pull up the stopwatch. Okay. Your first prompt is, and like I said, I'm going to give you a sentence starter and then you just complete the sentence. Okay. Here comes your first one. Right now, I am feeling. Right now, I am feeling. And we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes your next prompt. So write down number 2. What I would like them to understand is. What I would like them to understand is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one, write down number 3. Number 3 is a time I talked to somebody who had a different opinion than mine and it went well. A time I talked to someone who had a different opinion than me and it went well. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are at number 4. So write down number 4 or picture it in your mind. Okay. Here comes number 4. My country is. My country is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're at number 5. Okay, number 5. One way I practice self-care is. One way I practice self-care is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're at number 6. Pick up sticks. Okay, this one is. Islam to me is. Islam to me is. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're on number 7. So write down number 7. Here comes your 7th prompt. A way people could be a better ally is. A way people could be a better ally is. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're at number 8. Okay, number 8 is, in the midst of all of this, I. In the midst of all of this, I Five, four, three, two, one. Number 9. I am finding joy in. I am finding joy in. Five, four, three, two, one. Number 10, your last one. I pray. I pray. Five, four, three, two, one. You did it. Yay. Go ahead. Snap it up. Rami's got the rights. And give yourself a hug. You did great. Yes, indeed. Okay, we're going to unmute everybody's line. Okay, perfect. What is one of the prompts we did that y'all would like to hear some people share out?
I didn't write the first part, but the last one, if you read the first part, it's, I don't remember what the last question was, but I wrote,
it was I pray.
For peace, health, and prosperity. Things I pray, yeah, for peace, health, and prosperity.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, and it looks like this one is Summer. Are you with us?
Okay. Yes. In the midst, number 8, in the midst of all this, I can still dream.
You can still what?
Dream.
Oh, dream. I thought you said seem, and we were all waiting in anticipation.
No.
Okay, dream.
I still dream.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Adriana? Are you still with us?
Yes.
What's one of the ones you would like to share with us?
Number 1.
Number 1. Right now I'm feeling.
Right now I'm feeling as if I've conquered, yet have not even brushed the surface.
Thank you. Angela, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
What is one you would like to share with us?
Number 8. I don't remember what you started with.
In the midst of all of this, I
hope more hearts open.
Thank you,
See
Angela.
less hate.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Heather and Diane?
Okay, number 4. My country is so sad and messed up.
Yes, indeed. Heather?
Oh shoot, where did it go? Number 6, Islam to me is an inclusive path.
I like that. Thank you.
And then, go
ahead.
Well, I would love to hear if anyone, especially any Muslim Americans or anyone, what they put for number 2. What I would like them to understand is.
What I would like for them to understand is, okay, there's one more person.
Oh, sure.
One by one, and then we'll open up the line. Okay. Melissa, are you with us?
I am, yes. And I can answer number 2. I said what I would like for them to understand is that we are all one.
Thank you for that, Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, everybody's lines are open. Is there anybody who would like to answer number 2 that hasn't?
Yes, I would. Actually, I wrote Islam to me is that we are humans.
And was that
That's for
Sahar?
number 2. That's for number 2. That we are humans, or that we are human. And for number 6, Islam to me is a way of life.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing both of those with us.
Okay, I have for number 2 that I would like them to understand Islam is not ISIS.
Is that
Or ISIS is not Islam.
is that Sahar?
No, that's Summer.
Summer. Okay, Summer. Thank you, Summer.
Yeah, I just see there's a big misunderstanding between Muslims and ISIS, and I think the media is really sending, a lot of misunderstanding, and no one is explaining the difference, or I don't know, maybe people are not really open to understand the difference.
Exactly. What would you? How would you say it in like? So if Islam is not ISIS, then Islam is. What would you say as an affirmative? Islam is what?
Islam is peace.
Islam is
and
peace.
Islam is loving humanity and loving each other. We're all, I think it's the way I see Islam, and I'm a Muslim, and the way we see Islam is that we're part of humanity. Like Melissa said, we're all one. And one of the questions, I think it said, how would you understand each other? Islam is practice of number 7. Any people could be a better person. I really, to me, I said if each one of us does a DNA testing, you'll see that we're all connected to each other.
I'm going to interrupt for a second. I saw that video.
Sure.
Who is interrupting?
I'm sorry. There's a
Angela?
me. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a video on YouTube, and it's a very big eye opener, and everybody needs to see it.
You want to name drop it?
I don't remember what it's called. I think it's DNA testing. It's just so intriguing. It really is like, wow.
I think you might be referring to, there's a documentary called Race, The Power of an Illusion. And in the middle of that, this is a similar one, if it's not the one you're talking about, where they DNA test students and have them all see that we're actually, our DNA is way more similar than you thought. The whole documentary is really great. It's called Race, The Power of an Illusion.
Yes, I think that was the one that people said, I don't like Italians, or I don't like, Germans, and they have part German and part Italian. Was that it?
That's the one.
Yes, I saw that one. It was awesome. I thought that was awesome. Whatever they didn't like, they were actually part of it.
I'm curious to know.
That's what I was referring to.
Yes, indeed. I'm curious to know, what did y'all answer for a time I talked to somebody who was different than me and it went well, or a time I talked to somebody who had a different opinion than mine and it went well?
What number was that one?
That was number 3.
Oh, I wrote, it was nice to see the other side of the token.
That's awesome. Anyone else?
This is Summer. Just being a Muslim, I get you get confronted with these things all the time. I had attended a seminar, Jack Canfield seminar, and it's funny because one of the people had lived in Libya, and she grew up. Her parents always. I'm getting an echo now.
I fixed it. Go ahead.
Okay. Her parents had told her that Muslims don't like Christians. And she lived in Libya thinking that Muslims didn't like Christians. And then she moved to the United States, and then she saw me at the meeting, and we ended up being in the small micro group. So out of 50 people, we ended up being in a small group of 4. What do you think of that? So, yeah, no coincidence. And we connected with each other, and we really cried with each other and laughed with each other, that by the third and fourth day, she looked at me, she goes, thank you very much for being part of me because you healed me. And I said, wow, it was an amazing experience.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Did anybody else want to share on that one?
I wanted to share on number 2.
Who said that? Is that Heather?
Oh, no, someone said they wanted to share on number 2. I had something about number 3, but yeah, either way.
Why don't you share your number 3 and then we'll jump to number 2.
Okay. Well, mine, I've gotten off of Facebook for a while because there were some heated debates, and I talked to somebody who had a different opinion than me, and it turned out well because I was able to have compassion for their point of view. They were a very fundamentalist Christian group of people that had a particular set of ideas and beliefs that I didn't have, and I was able to see that she said, I feel attacked as a fundamentalist Christian woman for my beliefs, that I'm being told I'm stupid and not right and uneducated, and I feel like I also have a right to have my convictions. And we were able to private message for about a week and just say, you know, I may not see what you see or see eye to eye, but I love you all the same, even though we'd never met. And we were able to just really talk over the course of a week about just wanting love, but seeing it manifest in different ways or having ways of going about it. So
that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to check in on Melissa's line since we've had her muted. Melissa, was there anything you wanted to share?
I think I'm the echoey one.
It's all good. We'll work with it.
I will just say that, I said Islam to me is peace and beauty. And, at the time I talked to someone and it went well. I actually have a very close, dear friend of mine who is, he's Greek Orthodox, as a matter of fact, and he's very influential in his community. And he had sent a message around bashing Muslims. And at the time, I had not, transferred over to the other side. But I was married to a Muslim, and I asked him. I said, is this really, take a step back and see if this is the message that you really want to be spreading as a leader in your community, because what you're spreading is hate and not acceptance. And, he took a step back and he said, you are really right. And he goes, I won't do that again. And so I felt, like, okay, perhaps I can be a bridge between religions, make a difference one ripple at a time.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Rami, is there anything you want to say in kind of conclusion or wrap up before we move on to our next activity?
I guess I just want to say that I am really grateful for people being honest. It sounded like a lot of people responded to those prompts in a genuine, even vulnerable sort of way. And that's really great. It was really beautiful. I didn't get to share any of my responses, but a lot of them were similar.
Which one would you like to share with us?
I can respond to number 2. And I think someone else wanted to respond to number 2. I don't think we got to her. I think someone said it though. So I encourage her to respond too. But I would say that what I would like them to understand is that I am not as scared or as scary as they think I am.
Ooh.
I like it.
Right, poet?
I like that.
And was there someone else who wanted to respond to number 2?
Yeah, it was I. For number 2, I put that What I'd like for them to understand is that there is no justification for generalization.
Ooh, there we go again. All right, poet. That was great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, team, I would love to continue hearing everybody's, but we have another writing prompt that we're going to do to kind of culminate our experience here today. So I'm going to mute our lines for just a second as I explain the directions. Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've done a group poem where we've gotten to see that one sentence, when connected with other people's sentences, becomes a whole story. And we got to see that each and every one of us is a poet and we are creative. The second thing we did is we went through 10 different prompts to kind of develop our free write muscle and found that all of us have something to say and we can say it in 20 seconds. And then it becomes this bigger conversation. So what we want to do now is give you the opportunity to do a longer 7-minute free write. So what that means is that for about 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to give you a chance to just write down for 5 to 7 minutes straight. And the secret to that is to not stop your pen if you're writing with your pen, and to not stop your fingers if you're typing, or if you're driving and you're thinking, to just continually say the poem in your mind. Okay? So, our prompt or our theme this whole day today is to express ourselves in the process. So when you're free writing, you can just write whatever comes to you, or you can develop the first sentence that you wrote, or you now have 10 different prompts where you started to write and you can now develop those. So when you're writing, if you want, you can just go from one prompt to the next, or you can write anything you want. If you can't think of anything to write, just write the words "I express" over and over and over and over again. I know people who did a 7-minute free write and they wrote down the same words over and over again for 5 minutes. And then their thinking mind got out of the way. And then their subconscious mind wrote a poem that became one of their best poems ever in the last 2 minutes. So it's one of those things where you just got to trust the process and kind of let your thinking mind get out of its own way so your subconscious can write for you. I'm going to unmute everybody's line for a sec. Does anybody have any questions on what we're about to do? If y'all are with me, let me hear you say hey.
Hey.
All right. Looks like we are golden. Okay. So bust out your pen and pad, your keyboard, or if you're driving, you can just think it out loud in your mind. I'm going to mute everybody's line during this process. So if you have any questions, feel free to click the raise hand button. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to take 5 minutes to free write, and then we'll come back as a group and get to hear what some people created. Sound good? Okay, here we go. Starting now. Want to wrap up your final sentences, your final last letters, last words. Okay, and if y'all don't know by now, I love to snap it up. So go ahead and snap it up for your free writing abilities. Excellent. So now what we've done is we all gotten the chance to create something. I bet there's at least 3 words on your sheet of paper, and 3 words from you are 3 words we would love to hear. So we're going to gently and then as a group more firmly invite everyone to share what they created with us. And what we like to do is after each person shares, we like to have 2 people share an affirmation with them about what they liked from their poem. So who would like to start us off? Who's feeling bold, brave, beautiful, and brilliant, and wants to share what they created during their free write?
Okay. I'll be strong.
Yay. Is that Sahar?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
No, it's Sahar.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. I chose Islam is a way of life for me. Islam teaches me how to treat others, how to help people, and how to volunteer. I learned to follow the 3 S's. S for silent and listen to others. S for submission, submit to God. S for service, to serve others. Express my emotions, my thought, love. Express my emotions, my thought by reading the Quran and understanding. Express my emotions through the words of God. God is love. God is love. God loves me and I love God. God gives me peace and love in our world. That's all I have.
Yay!
Awesome.
Yeah, who
Okay, I've
has,
never done this before. I've never done this.
You
before,
rock.
So thank you.
that was great. That was great.
Okay.
Who has a couple affirmations they want to? Can we get two people to share some affirmations for Sahar? Something you
Okay,
heard.
I'm one.
Okay.
Since I'm her sister, I'll go ahead and say something.
Something nice.
Yes,
Something nice.
I am loving.
What you're saying you're loving her poem?
No, he said affirmations, so I'm doing
So
an affirmation.
you heard Sahar say in what she wrote, I am loving, and that is what you're affirming. It stood out to you.
Yes, yes.
You know, and actually that's a great way to see these affirmations. Thank you, Summer, for this. Another way in, you know, so it could sound like affirmations are like, oh, hey, great job. I love it when you wrote this. Or it can easily just be, oh, that line struck me. You know, that's even an affirmation. Just sort of validating what you heard, or like that something wrote something that just sat with you. That's an affirmation. So it doesn't have to be complimentary. It just needs to be something, a recognition.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
I felt from her poem that she was serene, she was honest, and she was loving.
That's awesome.
Oh, and just so you know, Summer, what you had said first was perfect. I wasn't telling you to change it. What you were doing was a good example.
Thank you, Robbie.
I was telling people that could be an affirmation, like, oh, I'm loving that, you know. So
Perfect.
Does anyone have another one?
I can give one. I really loved your clarity of faith. It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
Thank
you, Diane.
Thank you.
Can we snap it up one more time? That was an amazing read. Let's get our next person who wants to step up, bold, brave, beautiful, and brilliantly, who wants to share their free write with us.
I'll share.
Yay! Go ahead, Adriana. We got you back.
Get naked. Leave your preconceived notions of me in a puddle around your feet at the door. Step inside and rinse your hands of the hatred that has been so consistently poured into them. Place your cleansed hands over your heart. Feel what you could not feel before. Know that you aren't the only one with a heart that is beating. You aren't the only one capable of love. That's all I have.
Yay! Woo!
Awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
Great. Well, I mean, that might be one affirmation, but I invite two more people even to share.
I loved the imagery, just the whole imagery of the vulnerability and the connection with heart and body. It was great.
Anyone else? I'll say that I loved the puddle, the image of the puddle.
Me too.
Yes, indeed. And I
Yeah,
love
the way that she started that was awesome. Cool.
Yes, indeed.
I love the on the spot poem.
Can we, and Lisa says, I appreciate your boldness in your voice. Can we snap it up for Adriana? That was awesome.
Good.
Thank you. Let's get our next poet up to the mic. Who's feeling it? Who wants to, you know, maybe you didn't come here thinking you'd read and wants to go to bed being like, oh my God, I can't believe I read? Who would like to be that person?
Okay, I'll go ahead.
And can you say your name for us?
Summer.
Summer, go ahead.
Okay. And by the way, I'm a pharmacist, not a writer.
No
However,
disclaimers.
this is fun.
No disclaimers. We are all artists.
Yes, I'm an artist. Okay. In the midst of all this, I feel the responsibility to have a voice, to express myself through facts and pictures. I've listened to stories about African Americans, American Indians, Jews, Irish, Italian, Japanese, and much, much more. And I hear all the pain. However, I know we will go through our struggles and pains, and through these challenges, we will grow, be strong, fight for others. I love myself. I love humanity. People are kind. Don't judge. Don't create a story. Connect to be interested by being loving and kind. Something through connect through our stories, our past experiences, and through history. That's it.
Yay!
I did it.
You did it.
I can go to sleep now, happy.
Yes.
So pharmacists could write.
Yes, indeed. We believed it.
Yeah, very good.
Go ahead, sorry.
I like the fact that she put it together as history and responsibility and strength, and so putting it all together and giving comparison. That was very good.
Yes, indeed. Let's get our second one. Second affirmation. I love how, once again, showing that everybody's an artist. That, like, imagine if you didn't share that with us. I feel like I benefited so much by getting to hear it. So I appreciate that you didn't keep it to yourself and you shared it with us. So thank you so much for that. Can we snap it up one more time for Summer? Yes, indeed. And Lisa said, I like the use of lots of dimensions, past, present, future, lots of connections to others. So thank you. And we want to
thank you, Lisa.
And Emron, are you still there?
I think he's gone. We lost somebody.
Okay. Who would like to be the next person to share and get affirmed? It's awesome. It's scary at first and then super fun. Who would like to be that person? Or maybe is there somebody that you know their name and they haven't shared and you'd like to call them out and be like, you haven't shared?
Lisa.
Oh, we got someone.
Lisa.
No surprises there.
Lisa,
my friend
something?
Lisa.
Okay, so basically my free write became lots of questions. So let's see, where do I start? Let's see. What would it be like if we lived in a world where everyone respected each other? What would it feel like? What would we experience? Is conflict really a natural part of our lives? Sometimes I'm not sure. Do I want to live in a conflict-free world? What purpose does it serve? Do I want everyone to be kind? What would be missing? I think about how much richer my life is with diversity, and I feel extremely grateful for the people that I have in my life. They are invaluable to me. My life is full. And I am in gratitude. And that's as far as I got.
Yay!
Thank you.
Awesome.
Very thought-provoking.
Great. So we got one affirmation. Could we get another one?
Is conflict really a natural part of our lives? That held a lot of weight when you said that. I was like, wow. You know, is it really like naturally a part of our lives, or is that just something that has become the norm and just keeps carrying on?
Thank you. Can we step it up for?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I actually thought it was great with the question, are we all alike? Because there's a verse in the Quran that says God could have made us all alike, but he didn't. And the reason he didn't is so he could create us in different nations and different tribes and different colors, and so we could all learn from each other. And I thought that was what she just talked about. It was just amazing that's exactly why God created us, to be different, so we could all learn from each other. It's great. Great questions.
I mean, thank you so much. Go ahead, Rami.
I have an affirmation too.
Yay!
Which is, Lisa, I appreciate the form of asking questions. I do that a lot in my writing. And I liked how when you read it, you gave really long pauses for us to truly digest the question and also come up with our own answers. And then you ask like a follow-up question. And I just wanted to say that was a really great form. Your form was really lovely.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody.
Let's snap it up for Lisa.
Hey.
Lisa.
Okay. Well, I know we haven't heard from Heather or Diane or Angela or Rami. So any of y'all want to read your poems? A lot of fun.
Go, Rami.
Go ahead.
Rami got saved.
Oh,
and
wow.
then
Okay.
we'll come around to everybody else. Don't worry. You'll get your turn. I got your back.
Okay. This one's for you, Summer. No, it's okay. It's not. It's for everybody. Islamophobia. It's an interesting word because I'm not exactly sure what it is about Islam that people are afraid of. I understand being afraid of people blowing themselves up in front of people. Yeah, but why can't we call it terrorophobia or violenceophobia? Islam is faith. Islam is spirituality. Islam is beauty. Why don't people see that it's people committing these acts of terror? That's it. I only had like 2 minutes, actually.
Woo! Yes. Let's get 2 affirmations for Rami. 2 people each sharing 1 affirmation.
I thought it was very thought-provoking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. Yes, I thought it was very thought-provoking. Just the thought around terror and, just the connections around fears. So I'm still chewing on that, actually. So thank you for that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Lisa, for affirming Rami. Where's our second round?
I'm sorry. I like the way you said, why do we have to call it Islamophobia? How did you put that? Why can't we call it
terrorophobia or violenceophobia?
Yeah. It's so sad how we've been brainwashed into the automatic, just this inclusion of Islam and terror. It's horrible. But I like what you put. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Can we snap it up one more time for my brother, Rami? Yes, indeed.
From another mother.
Yes, indeed. We got Diane, Heather, Tom, and Andrew.
I'll go.
Diane's up.
Okay. I came into this webinar with about 2 minutes notice and didn't know it would be participatory. I'm finding myself to be shy and worried about participating. I don't know what to say, but I have had a big question for the Muslim participants and don't know if it will be respectful or if there is something I am missing and would come off as stupid or mean. But it's a long-standing question, and here it is. Why do I not see mass uprising in the Muslim community against the wrong belief that ISIS is not Islam? I don't think it is, but I wonder why I haven't heard more from the religious community about that. I've always wondered that and have been afraid to ask my Muslim friends. I respect and admire these friends and would like to know.
Can we snap it up for Diane?
Awesome.
On this one, just before for those who want to answer, if we could just affirm and then if you have a response. So could we get 2 people to affirm and then if anybody wanted to share an answer, because I'm sure that the poem brought up some things for some people.
I affirm her vulnerability.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
Second that.
Yeah, I respect the courage to ask that. I mean, it is a good question. You're welcome. And there is some, we do, but however, the media does not ever cover what we do in a positive aspect as much as they do in a negative aspect. That you'll never see. Yeah, like they never talk about, I mean, we have a community within our mosque. They go and they feed the homeless every week. I mean, there's so much emphasis on all the negativity that it would almost be like them admitting that they're liars if they were to cover the positive aspects. That's my theory.
Thank you, Angela.
You're welcome.
Did anybody else want to share a response or anything?
I'll share.
Who's that?
Just because I'm Summer.
Okay, go ahead, Summer.
Just because I'm a very activist, an activist in the community, and just in the Women's March that we actually had Muslim women speaking. In LA, we had them in Dallas, in Houston, in Orange County. So women actually got up and expressed themselves and how involved they are in the community, how they didn't really denounce ISIS because it wasn't really the forum for it. However, they expressed what Islam is. And definitely you could tell from what their expression is, it's not ISIS. However, we're very strong in expressing that Islam is not ISIS. Like Angela said, the media does not cover that. Even in 9/11, when we condemned what happened, a lot of people said, you're not condemning. It's like, how much? First of all, I am not ISIS. So I'm tired of condemning. I am an American Muslim, and that's the way I am. So like Christians, they don't go and condemn other Christians who kill somebody because they get to say he's a crazy man. So I'm actually tired of condemning because I don't feel I have to condemn. I just, through my practices and my relationship with others, that should be me and Islam. So it's not fair to say the Muslims have to condemn ISIS when everybody else doesn't condemn what they're doing. However, on the other note, there are a lot of Muslims who are condemning it because they know how that will affect all the other Muslims, not just in the U.S., but in the whole world. That's my 2 cents. I'm sure it's different for everyone. However, that was really, really courageous, and And I thank you. I really, really thank you for, whatever you want to ask, really feel free to ask anybody, any Muslim. They're very open and they want people to ask.
Thank you so much, Summer. Unfortunately, Diane's line got cut just a couple seconds ago, so she doesn't have the opportunity to respond to say thank you. But I'm guessing they're going to find a way to get back online. So, there they are. We thought so.
Just missed
Right on time.
You're back.
Diane, we were just concluding with a big thank you for asking the question.
Computer died.
My computer died.
Oh,
Darn it.
so I just want to do a real quick check-in with everybody. I recognize that we said 6 to 7:30. Rami and I will stay on, right? Is that cool, Rami? Yeah, Rami and I will stay on, for a little bit longer to give everybody a chance to share who didn't have a chance to share. But we understand if you set your time to 7:30 and it's time to go get dinner or to take care of family or something. So if for those who might have to leave on time rather than going over with us, we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us and for expressing and for sharing. But if you want to stay on a little longer, feel free and we'll continue sharing. Does that sound good?
I'm gonna have to go, but I really want to thank you for this. I really appreciate it. I learned so much, and I've never done something like that before. So I treasure it. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rami. Nice hearing your voice again.
Take
care.
Saha. Thank you. It was good.
Take care. Bye bye.
Alaikum salam. Excellent. Okay. Does anybody else need to bounce off or take off right now?
I will have to take off.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to go too.
Okay, so for those who are leaving, we just want to thank you so much. If you have any questions or you want to go to more events like this, you can just drop me an email. It's Tom, T-O-M, at tomearl.com. That's T-O-M at T-O-M Earl, E-A-R-L.com, Tom at tomearl.com. Lisa and I will be working together to create more events like this in the future. And we hope to have great people like Rami a part of it and people like yourselves as well. So thank you so much for those who need to drop off the call now.
Thank you. I feel like, hey, Tom.
Hey, Rami.
So I don't know if Diane got an answer to her question.
Yeah.
So, and Summer is the one who gave quite a thorough response, and she just jumped off. So, Tom, I'm just, I guess, being really transparent. Should we try to paraphrase what Summer had said, or do you want to try doing that? Or
go ahead, brother.
Okay. Well, or if anyone else wants to either. But what her response, this is, I would say, she made a couple of points. One, I think she said in many ways, she's just tired of having to condemn, what Muslims do. She views herself as an American Muslim, and she really doesn't see ISIS as representing her faith or her religion or her practice at all. And she feels like it really is no more her responsibility to condemn what ISIS does than any Christian American to condemn what, what extreme Christian groups do. Or when, she didn't make this point, but I could add this, which is like, when you have a mass shooting of some sort in this country that might be conducted by someone who's not Muslim, you don't see a whole lot of condemnation of that person's identity. Of people who share that person's identity. You don't see that happening either. So just to kind of put it all in perspective. However, she said that people do condemn, and she's an activist, and she condemns all acts of terror, and Muslim organizations actually do. So my question, I guess, is to what does condemnation look like? What is it that you want to see that you feel is not there? Because I think people do vocalize. I know Muslims who do condemn it, but I also don't know how many Muslims in general people know. So when it comes to like the news focuses on the terror, right? And the news focuses on like what the tragedy that has happened. And you never really see Muslims on the news except for when there's an act of terror. So you don't, and there's in general no Muslims saying positive things. You don't see that ever. So it's easy to believe that no Muslims are saying positive things, but the media chooses what they show you. You know, so
Yeah.
so there's just, it's important to think that maybe you're not getting all the stories either, you know, and like maybe if you want to like see a statement of condemnation, maybe you have to log on to a Muslim organization and see if they have released a statement, but you're not going to see it on the 7 o'clock news, you know. I've added a couple of my own points.
Yeah.
But I leave anything else? The other people on the line, did someone say anything that I did not?
Let's just check in with Diane. Do you feel you got part of your question answered, or got to hear perspective on your question?
Yes, I'm sure there are a lot of things that I'm not seeing. I did get my question answered, and I hadn't thought of how tired people must be of feeling it's their responsibility to condemn this fringe group. Yeah, I still wonder if it would be helpful for people to have marches or something against
ISIS,
the affiliation or something for the masses of people who do think it's the same.
Yeah, I understand. I can share in my experience. So I'm a white man, and there's times where like other white men like shoot up a whole church because people are black, you know, like what happened in Charleston.
Right.
And nobody's ever asked me as a white man to march against that. Like I've never seen a bunch of white men my age in the streets en masse marching against it and being told like that we as white people need to demonstrate that we're not racist en masse. I haven't really heard other white people tell me that. But I am Muslim as well, and I do get told when a Muslim does it that part of my identity needs to march. So like the one with privilege, I'm rarely told that my privilege side needs to demonstrate that I'm not a bad person, because you can see lots of stories about white men that are good stories. There's lots of even shows on TV I like that has a positive, you know, white man representing that aspect of my identity. But I really don't get to see like my Muslim identity, a positive person on even a TV show or a movie, or they don't really show that side of my identity marching. So I don't know if that helps kind of sharing how, you know, when I have privilege, there's a better representation of who I am than when my identity doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So thank you for the question. See what happens when you get you express, like a whole conversation comes up and we get to learn from each other. So can we snap it up one more time for Diane, y'all? Thank you so much. So who's left is Heather, and Angela had a disconnect before we got a chance to hear from her. Heather, would you like to share your poem with us?
All right. Okay. So I put trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. I'm not as scared or scary as I look. We're all not bad. How can I help? Islam is an inclusive path. White privilege. I have it, which means I really don't understand it. I feel some shame for my privilege, but shame is useless. What can I do? How can I flesh out internalized, imagine ladder of safety and security in the color of my skin, the color of my eyes? Hate is really born of fear. How do we do what Martin Luther King suggests? Hate does not dispel hate, only love dispels hate.
That's amazing. Can we snap it up for Heather?
I appreciate your vulnerability, especially talking around privilege. I think it's really difficult to talk about. And for you to even you're being honest, you may not completely understand it, but you have shame around it. That's just really honest. So I appreciated hearing that.
Thank you.
And do we have a second person who would like to affirm Heather?
Um, it's I believe it is difficult to figure out how to utilize a privilege you have if you don't quite understand it. And whether you understand it or not, being a person, I think the best thing you can probably do is speak out against whatever injustices are going on, regardless of who they're affecting directly. Privilege has nothing to do with it. If you have it in your heart to want to make a difference for someone else, you can do that with or without the privilege.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you both for sharing your affirmation. And Lisa says, very honest, thank you for staying at the table. We need you, even when uncomfortable. Great role model for these conversations. So can we snap it up one more time for Heather?
Snappy snap.
Yes, indeed. It's contagious. So we want to just thank everybody. Everybody got a chance to share, and we appreciate the heck out of that.
Did you share, Tom?
I did not share. I just do y'all have time? Are you sure?
Oh yeah.
I have time.
All right. Let's see here. Where did my poem go?
Where'd it go?
There it is. It was behind another window. Okay. Much to their surprise, yes, I am Muslim actually. Oh, you are? The hurt look of betrayal I have become used to. I actually liked you. How could you be this thing I didn't like? The cognitive dissonance has their vowels and consonants coming to a standstill. So much to say before and now just shock. It says enough. The power of relationships can transcend bias. It cuts to the heart quicker than any statistic. That's human connection. And then pushing it further into conversations on systemic and institutional discrimination. That's the vision, the pathway I see towards healing a nation, built upon the foundation of white supremacy since our founding. But I believe in us. We can do this. Inshallah, with difficulty comes ease. Ameen.
Oh,
Snap it up.
Snap it up for Tom.
Girl. Let's get a couple affirmations for him.
I loved the cognitive dissonance, just looking at, how people really are judged by appearance and, as having certain beliefs or ideas about the world.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One more, another affirmation from Mr. Tom Earl.
Yay.
Lisa writes, beautiful. I love the style and the integration of culture. And if you wanted to enhance that, I don't know if she's there still vocally. She's still thinking. Is there another one though, vocally, if we want?
I like how you pointed out that someone could like you before. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the person you are. You're very likable. And then suddenly your faith identity is suddenly off-putting or somehow changes how much they liked you before. And faith doesn't hurt anyone per se. Like how did your faith just suddenly make you a less likable person,
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for that.
Snap it up, Mr. Tom Earl.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank everybody so much for joining us. One way we usually conclude these events is to just go around from each person and see, is there any sort of testimonial or affirmation you'd like to share with the group about your experience here today? And then we'll close out with Rami and Lisa, anything they'd like to say, and then we'll have some dinner or watch, Scandal or whatever you do at night.
It's Wednesday, though.
It's Wednesday. Oh, I watched it on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
So who would like to share, maybe an affirmation or a testimonial or anything that you want to share in conclusion? and we'll just go from person to person. Heather, is there anything you want to share as we conclude?
I just really love hearing different people's perspectives so I can learn and grow and understand. So thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Diane?
It's just really interesting to hear the perspectives that people have, and listening to each other's opens us up to healing.
That's awesome. Thank you, Diane. Adriana?
I'm very thankful that I was able to, even though I probably jumped in late, I'm very thankful I was able to see the end of this and participate in most of the activities this time as opposed to last time. I think it's really great that you guys put this together because, you know, it's not something I've ever seen before. And the last meeting I was around a group of friends and everybody was like, you know, what are you guys doing? And what are you talking about? And what's the purpose of this? And I explained it, and it seemed to catch their interest, you know, even though I didn't get to participate much. But I think it's really awesome, and I'll definitely pass word along.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Great.
Rami and Lisa, is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
Yes, actually, one of the things that I wanted to mention, and I should have said it earlier when everybody else was on, but in the spirit of creative activism, one of the things that I wanted to do was to ask everyone's permission if I can type up some of the writings, because one of the things that I'd like to do is print them out and display them on the walkway so that the students here at Cal State University, Dominguez Hills can read them and see that there's support out here. And then to put little stickies or notes or something available in that booth so people that are walking by can write notes to the authors, and that it can be this ongoing dialogue, because I think we can go even further with this format, and it's something I'm experimenting with. But one of the things that I really want to do, and one of the reasons why I wanted to organize this, is to create various ways of supporting the Muslim students and staff and faculty on this campus, and actually in the community at large. So thank you all for your participation. It just really means a lot. My heart is very full. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
If y'all, and if
And
y'all
that's
would,
fine with me.
if y'all would like to make Lisa's life easier, if you could either take a picture of what you wrote down, or if you typed it up and just send it to my email right here. Put it in the chat box, tom@tomearl.com. Then she doesn't have to transcribe it. So if you could just email me the document or a picture of it or copy and paste, I'll forward that on to Lisa. That'll save her that transcription time.
Yeah. And if you'd like it to be anonymous too, that's fine too. I think just the voices out there to let people know that we are here and we are supporting is very, very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Rami, any concluding thoughts?
Just really, I'm feeling gratitude. I really do feel like everybody showed up today. Even, Adriana, you made it sound like your participation was minimal, and I think your participation was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. This is not an easy time, and these are not easy these are not easy topics to discuss. So as long as we continue creating, little opportunities like this where people could share thoughts, and through a creative sort of outlet is always great. I encourage you to continue finding opportunities such as this to be a part of. So thank you.
Well said, Rami. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to upload this and we'll share it next week. So if you want to share it with people and be a part of future ones, we'd love that. About 2 weeks ago, we had a panel discussion that was also sponsored by the Multicultural Affairs. And one of the panelists, her name was Aziza Hassan, and she's the executive director of New Ground. And at New Ground, they like to say that disagreement is natural, but getting stuck and letting it become conflict is a choice. And I believe that we can disagree. It's a natural thing. But how we decide to react and work through that disagreement determines if the disagreement becomes something that we grow in relationship through, or if it becomes conflict. And opportunities like this, where we can find a meaningful way to express ourselves, even if it feels awkward and is scary, and do it in a safe space, the conversations we have, I do believe, are what eliminate bias, and in that place form meaningful relationships. So thank you for participating in that process. I feel like we changed each other's lives and we're a part of the world. So today we help change the world. So I appreciate that. Thank you once again to Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, and the Multicultural Affairs Department. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. Rami El Etcherby, thank you so much for being an amazing co-facilitator.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for your amazingness and for showing up. We hope you join us again in the future. Once again, feel free to email us your poems, tom@tomearl.com. Thanks so much, everybody. Can you snap it out one more time for yourselves? And we will see you next time.